everybody. Today's grammar workshop is on adjectives. The job of an adjective, as you might know, is to add information to the noun in the sentence. So it always adds information to the noun. There are two positions that the adjective can go in a sentence. The first position is the one that we're most familiar with, and that's the most common. It's where it comes before the noun. So, an example of that from our story, The Wizard of Oz, that we're reading at the moment, is the brainless scarecrow. So the noun in the sentence, the common noun, the thing, is the scarecrow. The adjective, the position of it, is coming before the noun and it adds information to the noun. So that's the first position. The second position that the adjective can come in the sentence is when it comes after a verb of sense. Now we all know what the senses are. Our senses are seeing, looking. They are feeling with our hands. They're smelling with our noses. Tasting with our mouths. Or just being. So something just is. So adjectives can actually also come after a verb of sense. And they are still adjectives. So, when you see a verb like looks or seems or appears, to do with seeing, or feels or smells or tastes, or just a verb from the verb to be like is or was or were, it can be followed by an adjective, okay? And that is an adjective following after a verb of the senses. Let me give you some examples of some of those types of adjectives. So, examples of adjectives coming after a senses verb. Just remember what those senses are. Just see if you can remember them with me. Or just being. Okay, so the scarecrow, that's our noun in the sentence. He looked, that's our verb of sense. How did he look? Bored, that's the adjective. Dorothy, that's our proper noun in the sentence. Felt, that's our verb of the senses, she felt. How did she feel? She felt drowsy. So drowsy is the adjective in the sentence. The dinner, that's the noun. Smelt, our verb of senses. How did it smell? It smelt delicious. That's the adjective in the sentence. The potion, that's the noun. Tasted, that's our verb of senses to do with our mouths, tasted. How did it taste? It tasted strange. That's the adjective. The city, that's the noun. Was is our verb of senses, and that's from the verb to be, something just is. Incredible. That's the adjective. So the adjective following on from the verb of sense. So let's just look at those verbs of senses again. The verbs. Looked, to do with our sense of sight. Felt, to do with our sense of touch. Smelt, to do with our sense of, that comes from our nose, smelling. Tasted, from our mouths. Was, from the verb to be, something just is something. So those adjectives are still describing the noun. And we can test that out by just popping the adjective in front of the noun and seeing if it still would act like an adjective in a different position. So we could have the bored scarecrow, yeah, in the more common position where it's coming before the noun. We could have drowsy Dorothy, describing Dorothy, coming before the noun. We could have delicious dinner, describing the dinner, coming before the noun. We could have a strange potion, still an adjective, it would just be in a different position. So this is a way of testing out if it is an adjective. The incredible city, it's just in a different position. So just to recap and remind you again, the job of the adjective is always to describe the noun, but it can come in two positions in the sentence. The first position is before the noun, that's the most common one. The second position is when it comes after a verb of the senses. And don't forget the verb to be, like is, was and were. She was happy, she is happy, they were happy. So that's a recap of our understanding and our learning about adjectives. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon for another grammar workshop. Bye.